mailbag time. Where are we going?
Okay, first one. What is more likely to happen this season? 1,000-yard rusher or receiver?
Receiver.
Yep, receiver.
Jamal Banks. I would say, like, if you were to put numbers on it, I don't even know if there'd be a good prop number for a running back to get 1,000 because it's just too unknown.
It's sort of an interesting conversation in that the quarterback's not going to lead the team in rushing again. Heinrich Haarberg led the team in rushing last year. That's not going to happen. I mean, the quarterback's not going to lead the team in rushing. So running back's going to have to lead it. Ideally, you get a guy with 1,000. I just don't know if there's a player right now you'd look at and say he's going to get 1,000, in part because they'll spread it around. The receiver thing, too, though, is the same kind of dynamic. I think I could see Banks getting like 880 yards, 800 yards, not getting 1,000 because they're going to spread the ball around.
I think just the durability aspect with running back too. Like how many of those guys have proven they can be a wire-to-wire running back and get the number of carries necessary to get to 1,000. I mean, that's probably the biggest holdup for me. I mean, they got guys that have shown that potential. Several guys that have shown the potential receiver. I just think the opportunity is going to be much higher on that.
Yeah, what's a respectable total for the tailback group in a game? Can they get 150 as a group?
Well, again, Sean, the offense is different now.
Yeah, 200 rushing yards in the game with this style of offense will be hard to come by, especially when you take sack yardage out of the which is dumb, by the way. I still don't understand why college football does that. But when you deduct the sack number from the rushing total, it will be kind of hard to see Nebraska have over 200 rushing yards very often.
But they need more production from that spot. That's what I'm getting at. Because you take away the quarterback rushing yards, which for many years in recent times, they relied upon. They relied on Adrian to lead them in rushing, right? That's not going to happen.
I wonder, too, how much the screen game as an extension of the running game is going to play into that as well.
Yeah, Rob,
It seems like they have the chance to utilize that more than they have in a long time.
I do. They have a quarterback that can deliver it.
And receivers that can do it.
And
block it.
Yeah,
yes.
Bonner's out there. I mean, I think even Banks can be a blocker. I mean, it depends who you're throwing.
Malachi Coleman's a good blocker.
Malachi Coleman's a great blocker. You're right. He's the best blocker they had on that perimeter last year. Yeah. Rob, if you can throw a quick screen and get 5, 6, 7 yards, and some of those guys like Banks, like Fedoni, just fall forward and get 5. So yeah, that's what I think you're cooking with that.
Okay, next one. Are there any players on this team who you think have a shot at being on the Big Ten preseason team?
Preseason.
I don't see any first teamers. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I when you have an 18-team conference where there's 3 or 4 teams that think they're college football playoff teams, Nebraska hasn't qualified for a bowl since 2016.
Oh, who would it be?
I mean, I think you're going to see some second and third team type players like Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmacher, maybe Tommy Hill, maybe Isaac Gifford.
Banks, a guy that no,
maybe
not with Ohio State in there.
Maybe Bryce Benhart on a lower team, maybe Ben Scott on a lower team.
Right, not first team.
But
Nebraska's biggest strengths are the biggest strengths of the conference: line and receiver.
Banks might be a second team because he was second team in the ACC. And the Big Ten did lose all its great receivers.
I have to look at Ohio State's roster before.
I mean, Ohio State lost everybody.
All Washington's guys and all Ohio State's guys.
Okay.
But they also reload at a ridiculous level. So
there's your answer.
Okay, next. What is the biggest glaring hole you guys have seen that is a serious concern going into fall camp in the season?
No glaring hole. There's not a glaring hole. That's the thing. I mean, we can go back to the punter and place kicker. That'd be as close as I can.
Well, the corner job opposite of Tommy Hill, like, I mean, you're going to roll with Hartzog, who's been okay, but not like a great corner, or Jeremiah Charles, or you get Bly Hill back eventually.
I don't think that's a glaring hole.
Yeah,
not with Hartzog there.
I think the biggest concerns are just unknowns, like we talked about. Like, I think we just need more time to get some answers right now to address those unknowns.
I think tackle depth in general, though, like if they sustain an injury to Benhart or Prohaska, like where would they go?
Who are we talking about?
Probably Latosky
or Gunnar Gatula.
Latosky. Yeah, I just think Latosky's more game proven, and he's played tackle in practice.
Yep.
So that they would have to do, or Corcoran, but you don't get the sense Corcoran's anywhere near ready to be out there.
Tyler Knack.
Tyler
Can
Knack.
I sell that to you?
Again, Yeah, that I mean, again, it would be hard to say. I mean, would he be better than Latoski in that role if they were in a bind?
I don't know.
Okay, next one. What would make you consider Nebraska's 24 season a success? What's the bar here?
7.
Let's get to a bowl game. I mean, like that alone is embarrassing to think. I mean, even like 2020, I wrote this week. How many NFL level players the 2020 team had? Their offense had 8 or 9 NFL level players on the field at 11 spots. Their defense had 3 or 4 or 5 NFL draft pick level type guys.
Right now, people are going to say, what are you talking about? But if you look at it, they had Adrian Martinez, Wan'Dale Robinson, McCaffrey, Farniok, Hymas. That's 5. Austin Allen, Jack Stoll,
Ben Hart,
6, 7, 8. Yeah, I mean they did. It wasn't
Vokalek.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
well, I didn't even count Stahl in my story. So yeah, that team really underachieved.
I think he had 7 catches that year, something like that.
But when you think about that group of players, they really underachieved.
3 and 5.
And then on defense, they had JoJo Doman and Daniels, and
probably not quite as good defensively though, right?
Cam Taylor Britt.
Was Luke Gifford on that team?
No, Gifford was 20.
But they had holes, Sean, and it mainly was at receiver. They had Wan'Dale, who I think had, I'm going to say, did he have like 40 plus catches? But the next guy was Levi Falk.
And Wan'Dale's first touchdown didn't come until the Rutgers game.
Now it was Wan'Dale. Then I would say their number 2 receiver was Falk, Levi,
who they brought in as a walk-on transfer from South Dakota.
Yeah, you could maybe. I'm just going by memory, but who would have been their number 2 guy? I think we're talking about Levi Falk.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Cade Warner.
Cade Warner had 5 catches that year.
But he was out there playing a lot.
Yeah.
To the point of the question, though, I will go back and agree. I'll say 7 and not 6 because I think you want to be you want to be above 500. Go to a bowl, but then also don't get in a 6 and 6. Get it at least minimum 7 and 5, especially with that schedule.
Yeah.
All right. Final question, Abby Barmore.
What was your favorite cartoon when you were growing up?
Ooh, go ahead, guys.
Cartoon.
I can go Flintstones.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
really? Mutant Turtles was good. Do you remember?
Is it really good, Sean?
The sports?
You like that? Huh?
All Stars one where like Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky.
I don't know what was that called.
All Stars, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it was Jordan, Gretzky, Bo Jackson, and was there one more? But they were like a tandem of like superheroes. They were like
Pro Stars.
Who were the guys they used in that show?
It was those 3.
That was it, just the 3.
Bo, Jordan, Gretzky.
I don't remember that.
And they had a cartoon.
That was during your era, not mine. I was Fat Albert.
Early 90s. Early 90s.
They had a cartoon called Fat Albert that was really good on Saturday mornings.
Hey.
Yeah, I can sing the song.
Sing it.
No. I'd say Flintstones was really good. It was hard to miss that. It was hard to miss it.
Abby, what was yours?
SpongeBob was always our favorite.
SpongeBob.
Watched a lot of SpongeBob.
Boy, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised on SpongeBob sometimes. It would get a little bit, they pushed the envelope a little bit on that show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying. But when you're young, you don't catch it. And then you
get
catch
older,
a rerun when you're older. You're like,
what
huh?
did you say?
If you go back and watch
Shrek.
a lot of shows as an adult, you pick up on stuff that you would not as a kid.
Oh, yeah. I had a class at UNL on that very subject, and it was alarming. It made me think about the world different.
You know what the hot cartoon now is, though? It's Bluey.
Oh, yeah. Bluey is
Bluey
elite.
Bluey's like the GOAT
Elite.
of cartoons right now.
I mean, it is one of the greatest kids' cartoons ever.
Really? You guys watch it?
Yes.
It's like a better version of for kids now, The Simpsons. The Simpsons was a great cartoon and great writing, but it's kind of like The Simpsons now for kids.
Bluey.
It is high level. Music's good, and it's like they hit on real topics, like real life scenarios, and do so in a way that kids kind of get it. But as an adult, you're like, whoa, that's heavy.
The dad's hilarious in that show.
Like the ultimate dad.
Dance party. Carly, that's what Carly watched on the plane. I mean, like
my son had a Bluey birthday party.
Wow.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Wow.
Have you seen Bluey?
I have not seen it. I do
You're
not
missing
have
out.
children.
Yeah.
Mom,
You're asking.
You don't need.
good questions.
I'm
You don't need.
not
kids.
watching it by myself.
Bingo. Bluey.
This is unbelievable.
I could sing the whole song.
Yeah.
We listen to the soundtrack all the time.
That's what you got. You get what you bargained for there, Abby.
Yeah,
Is that what
I
you wanted,
learned a lot
Abby?
Is that
here.
what you wanted?
And are you?
I'm
Are
not
you ready
sure
to
what I
turn
wanted.
back around and go to Kearney and leave us?
All right. On that
I
note.
wasn't expecting the singing.